Hey guys, it's Daniella Rabbani. You're listening to the Mom Curious podcast, and this is our season finale. I can't really believe that. I mean, it's been a really incredible season with deep, thought-provoking and inspiring conversations, and I just want to tell you that I really appreciate you listening. So thank you, and thank you for sharing and for growing alongside me in this journey of motherhood and womanhood and everything in between. So this season, we've had the absolute pleasure of speaking with some extraordinary guests. We kick things off with my dear friend Neha Rush, who is now a best-selling author of The Power Pause. I hope you guys picked up a copy. And she's changing the narrative around the stay-at-home mother. And I'm so grateful for it on a personal level, and also just professionally watching a friend rise that way in her power and in her authenticity, and having been a part of her community. It's really just been incredible. Hitha Palapu came on and she shared her wisdom on entrepreneurship and the art of listening to yourself when it's time to pivot, and go check that out. She also is a best-selling author and speaker and pharma CEO. She's everything. We call her a quote badass bitch on the pod, and it is absolutely the case. Then we got to speak to Ula Health, which is the first time that we ever really sat down with a midwife, actually, who's delivering better care right here in New York City. And I'm actually going to go get a well visit because they're now seeing people after you give birth, which I really appreciate. And just continuing on with that wellness theme, my hero, a real hero of mine, is Sarah Strimmel-Bentley, who is a breast cancer survivor, and she's now a fertility and surrogacy champion. She came on with her son Chance, her very one chance at having a baby, was right there crawling and cooing right before my eyes. I know I said this already in this episode, but please do go check that out. It is so inspiring, and she's so transparent about, you know, her struggles and also her fortitude. I really honor her, and I'm just so grateful that she came on. I then got to catch up with Kim Struther, who has been a real force in the health and wellness space and a dear friend of mine. She shared her inner strength. Everyone knows how strong she is on the outside. She's a creator on the Melissa Wood Health app. You can go ahead and check out her workouts there. They're hard. They're hard, but they're at home, so you can take a break whenever you need to. But we really got to talk about what gave her the inner strength to continue on with the ups and downs of her health and career. And we had a really beautiful conversation about her mom and her upbringing, and really proud to be her friend, and proud to have sat down and had such a beautiful conversation with her. Jill Kargman, iconic Jill Kargman, sat down with us. I definitely fangirled. I hear I fangirled just the right amount, which is great because you guys seem to also find Jill to be absolutely fascinating, funny, cool, with a wealth of knowledge on, you know, how to raise kids who actually like you 20 years in and who you like. I loved her take on creativity. I called her an artist, and she was like, fuck off. She didn't say that. She actually doesn't curse that much, but she was just like, I think that's so pretentious. But, you know, she really is a creative force, and her new movie is coming out later this year called Influenced. And then we rounded it out with Lauren Brantz, who I have to tell you was such an honor in a very specific way. I had reached out to Lauren years ago because I just valued the way she was parenting Dahlia, her child, who she talks about on the podcast, all the while having this really fantastic career as an illustrator, as a poet, as a writer. She has these best-selling books. And so I asked her if she'd come on, and she was like, I don't do podcasts. But now that her book is out in the world, or coming out in April, Poems of Parenting, I hope you pick it up. I did get an advance copy, and wow, is it, I cried. I cried because I felt so seen. It is amazing. She believes in this book so much that she was like, you know what? Remember that time you asked me to come on? How about we do it? And it really means a lot to me. And I've said this to you before. With my friend Robin Euclid, we tried for so long to get her on the show. She travels a lot. She is the hot mama. That's her sort of branding, and it's true. She's just like on fire all the time. It took a while to get her on, but we waited and we persisted, and we've been on the air for a while now, and people trust us. They trust me, and you trust me, and that means a lot. Like a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. So we're ending on this solo because I am diving into filming my documentary, Klezmerette. I don't know if we ever talked about it here, but it's a film project that is really close to my heart. And as I sit and record this, I'm just one day away from heading into the studio to record my first album. I know. It's really exciting. And we're documenting the experience, which really actually was a bigger lift than I expected, but I think all for the best. I have to say, Hoff Studios is so unreal. And I'm so grateful to be their partner in Mom Curious and on Klezmerette, and the hiatus that we're going to take until September will allow me to really focus on this meaningful work that I have been doing for the past 20 years and sort of crescendoing into solidifying it for the next generation. I sometimes mention that I sing in Yiddish, and it's always been a labor of love, but I noticed that first of all, there's an appetite for, understanding this language and culture a little bit more. And there are less and less Yiddish speakers out there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my part to share from this gorgeous canon of literature. But it does take quite a lot of focus. And so I'm grateful to you guys to give me that time while you rewind, please, and check out any of our 135 episodes of the Mom Curious podcast, exploring all the many different ways to be a mother, a woman, and human on this earth. We have represented so many different types of people, and I, as an actor, have just always been fascinated with biographies, and the fact that I get to host and, be the container for someone telling us their story is really just a total dream come true. So if you like biographies, and I have a feeling you do because you're still listening, go back and listen. And I think it's the best way to learn how to be. And I'll tell you why. I don't subscribe to this prescriptive way of parenting. I did for a while, but I don't anymore. Like, here's a script for how you should, treat your kid. And here's a formula for how you should plan your day. I think it works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for me. And I really value that each and every one of us is made in the image of the divine, and the divine is all things. And that's quite a lot of diversity of thought, background, race, creed. But more than that, like each and every one of us is just wired so differently, and so are our children. And so when I hear people sharing honestly about their life experience, I, pull good ideas from left and, leave some from the right. And I'm not talking about politically, by the way. I'm just saying, from here and from there. I was trying to be poetic for a second. Maybe that didn't work. I'm not editing this. I don't edit these. So you're just going to have to take it or leave it. You see what I'm saying? When we come back next season, we're bringing in, I'm not going to edit that. We're going to bring in the brilliant mind that is Tanya Cutler, a maternal mental health expert and a psychologist. She'll dive into what it is to be a good mother. I did ask that question. And she really muses on it in a really thoughtful, brilliant way, and I really appreciate it so much. My dear friend and coach, Ruby Rose Fox, who has guided me through her transformative Fox method, will be also guesting on the show. She has a new book out, all to do with the nervous system and performance. Of course, that's how I got in touch with her, because I am a performer, but I also do believe that motherhood requires just so much of us, and in order to perform to the best of our ability, not with a facade, not as a character, not not as a singer, obviously, not as a host, but to perform to the best of our ability, to our best authenticity, to our best, to be as regulated as possible, to help our children regulate themselves. I do think that knowing a bit about the nervous system and some tools to regulate ourselves for, optimal performance is really helpful. So she is going to come on and tell us a bit more about that, which I'm really stoked to share with you. And then a bit of a taboo topic, at least for me, because I work in the motherhood space, but
you know me with the taboo. I can't not.
Sarah from Mother Uncharted comes on and tells us a little bit about exploring generation shared. There is real concern around sharing our children's likenesses on the internet for a variety of reasons, and she has devoted a lot of her research time and energy to sharing about what she sees as really detrimental to the next generation. So we do go into that. We also have some other authors and thought leaders coming on. Of course, my favorite is always to talk to people you want to hear from, because this is about you, ultimately, you listener. So if you've got recommendations for me, you know where to find me, at Daniella Rabbani on Instagram, or at Mom Curious on Instagram. I would just love to know who you're curious about, or what topic you're curious about. I am really interested in getting a fertility expert, perhaps a doctor, on the pod. And I'm in talks with a maternal mental health institution to come on as well. But just in the vein of all the different ways to be a mother, if there are different voices that you really want to amplify or want me to amplify, would you let me know? Would you also let me know how you're enjoying the show, and leave us a review? Share any episodes that you feel are pertinent to your friends and family. Let them know that they're not alone in any of this. And keep in touch until September. I'll see you then on the Mom Curious podcast. Big, big love and thanks. Bye for now. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Mom Curious podcast. My name is Daniella Rabbani. I am your host, and I would love to continue this conversation at Daniella Rabbani on Instagram. And if you'd be so kind to rate and review, share this podcast, I would be just really grateful. Catch you next time, every Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast, produced by Hoff Studios. You can find them at Hoff Studios on Instagram as well. All right, have a great day.